PDAC 2020, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in Toronto, Commodity TV for you, and we are now at the booth of Plateau Energy Metals. And with me here is Alex Holmes, the CEO, who wants to give us an insight for the first time into his terrific company. Alex, welcome. Thanks for having us here at your booth.
Thank you for having us.
So how's the show?
Fantastic. A little quieter this year, but a lot of activity. People are excited.
Super. So you can see real interest.
Yes.
And that's probably because we see already the keyword, lithium. So we talk about e-mobility, we talk about battery metals here.
Yes.
And maybe you give us a short insight into your company. Where are you working, what are you doing?
Absolutely. So Plateau Energy Metals, listed on the TSX Venture Exchange under PLU. I've been working in southeastern Peru for about 15 years. We have two projects. The project we're going to talk about today is our lithium project because we just put out a preliminary economic assessment about 4 weeks ago.
So we have some numbers to talk about. Great.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. So lithium in Peru. Peru is normally known for more for, let's say, gold and copper, I would call it. How did you come on the lithium?
Well, the lithium was a discovery about 2 years ago by our geologic team. Same component of land package that we have with our uranium project. And what we found in our uranium project was the upper level of rocks had low levels of lithium. And so the geologists, being curious, were trying to determine where was this lithium coming from. And so in late 2017, as part of a prospecting effort, we targeted a zone and sunk a drill hole and hit a completely new rock type we'd never seen before.
Really?
No uranium, all lithium and high grade.
So it's like hard rock, it's not a salar-like, it's not brine, of course, so it's hard rock lithium, right?
It's hard rock, but it's not spodumene.
Aha.
So it was a head scratcher.
What's the difference?
Well, as a spodumene deposit, you have a lithium oxide, and you produce a concentrate, and then you have to go through a energy-intensive conversion process to get it to a lithium chemical.
Okay.
For our project, we equate it to a solid brine. So it's a completely made-up term, but all of the brine projects source their lithium from volcanic rocks, water leaching through volcanic rocks for 1 million years. What we seem to have here is lithium in a volcanic rock that's never been leached before. And so it's 5 to 10 times the grade of a brine. It's hard rock, and no matter what we do from a processing standpoint, we can extract lithium very readily.
Okay, question, how do you extract it then? Do you need like chemicals like cyanide, or how does that work? Like in
sulfuric
gold, for
acid,
example?
just like you use in gold or copper.
Okay, same thing.
So we use a tank leach process, just like you'd use in gold or copper, and we leach the rock and pull the lithium into a sulfate solution. And then everything after that is exactly like the brine projects or like the spodumines once the chemical conversion gets involved.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, super. Now we went already a little bit too far, but anyhow, you said you brought out the PEA. So what does the PEA look like? Sure.
So we start with a large resource. So we're about the 6th largest hard rock project in the world.
Okay.
320 million tons of ore at about 3,200 ppm. Sorry, 3,000 ppm lithium. And then for the mine plan and the preliminary economic assessment, we just focused on the richest zone of lithium, which is a fairly horizontal flat-lying body. It's about half the resource. And in that we mine about 110 million tons at 3,400 ppm lithium. Okay, and that looks like a 33-year mine life.
Wow, that's long.
It's a long time. We start off at I would call it a medium-sized lithium project, and scale up 2 times to produce in excess of 85,000 tons of lithium chemical a year. And I think that's really important because scaling up and having a very high purity or low impurity battery quality product, being able to scale up to become one of the largest single asset mines in the world today is very significant.
Okay, cool. Can you already elaborate a bit on, let's say, the cost structure? Yeah. What would it look like? Let's say all-in costs, production per ton, compared to, let's say, the today's selling price in the world market.
Sure. So if we look at a cash operating cost basis, we're just under $4,000 per ton. The current market for FOB South America contracts, right, offtake market, is just over $9,000 per ton.
Okay.
We've come down from around $14,000, $15,000, $16,000. The spot market as China is not really one to look at because it's a very small component of the market. And so FOB South America applies to us. If we look at all-in cost, we're around $4,500, $4,600 per ton.
Okay, wow, that's quite. So it's a 100% margin today.
Yes.
Today's prices.
And we scoped out the project as lithium only, and we have some potential byproducts that we're working on that metallurgical work right now.
And what would be the byproducts?
So byproducts, SOP. So potassium, SOP, sulfate of potassium, which is fertilizer. So it's a specialty fertilizer. The good thing here is Peru has 0 domestic sources of SOP.
So they could use that domestically?
Yes.
Wow,
and it's the fastest growing region in South America.
Okay, super.
Cesium is another one, which is an interesting one and quite strategic.
Definitely. What would be A probable capex for the project?
So in the PEA, what we were able to do, because we did 18 months of processing work, we were able to go out for 80% of all capex quoted, installed capacity. And so we were just under 600 million. And a big part of that is our acid plant. And the reason we chose an acid plant is because it's about a third of our operating costs. So we want to be able to control the operating costs more. The acid plant allows us to bring bulk sulfur in, convert it to acid, and part of that process, you create energy. It's a finished plant, and we can actually produce 18 megawatts of power at site.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
It's excess power.
Yeah. Fantastic, great. So what are the plans, let's say, I mean, it's not defined yet, but what could you imagine to finance that? Would somebody like, let's say, CATL, Northvolt, etc., Vata, would come to you and say, hey, you know, guys, that's exactly what we need for our batteries. We make an off-take agreement, we finance you the stuff. Would something like this work? Or, let's say, would a Chinese battery manufacturer come to you, or even out of the US? I don't know.
Yeah, I think, so the battery supply chain is evolving very rapidly. Europe is, in our mind, the second wave to come. All OEMs are putting electric vehicles on the road. One of the unique aspects of our project is that the way we've scoped it out in our PEA is to become a very clean provider of lithium chemicals. So low water use, low CO2, it's clean energy, access to hydropower if we need it.
Nice.
And so we think that fits really nicely to the European supply chain.
Sounds like green lithium then. Where you have hydropower and you generate your own power in addition. Yeah,
yes.
Amazing. Well, that is fantastic. Yeah. What would be the time frame for the whole project until we would see like production?
Sure. So we're looking at around a
years?
late 2025 type time frame for production, just under 2 years of construction. And we need to go through the pre-feasibility and the feasibility. And in 2020, we'll focus on optimizing the process route. And the reason we want to do that is because we want to incorporate the byproducts. And we also see there's some areas where we can perhaps finesse the OPEX and CAPEX as we move towards a pre-feasibility.
Fantastic, great. So let's come back to reality today. What is cash in the company? Who are your largest shareholders? What has management skin in the game?
Yeah, management has 8 to 10% ownership in the game, including board and everything. Largest shareholders backed by a couple of brokers with Haywood Securities, about 35%. Mining veterans there for the long term to support us through this. We have about 15 to 20% institutional between Canada and Europe, and about 10% high net worth individual out of California.
Okay. So good mixture.
It's a good mixture.
Yeah.
I speak to 65 or 70% of our shareholder base every week.
Okay, super.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Okay, so what is cash in the bank? Because I assume you have a heavy work program for this year.
Well, we'd like to focus on, so we have about $500,000 in the bank. This year's work program is going to be less focused on drilling because to infill drill to take it to pre-feasibility study that's capital intensive, we're going to focus the efforts on the processing side and get to the place where we get to small pilot scale leading into 2021 and then ultimately pilot scale. So this year will be about the optimization. How do we make that lithium in the ground more valuable? And let's understand the byproducts because those are potentially the sources of the capex financing down the road.
Yeah.
SOP, very attractive dynamics in the market. Cesium, very strategic. So 2020 will be about making that lithium and the byproducts incrementally better.
Fantastic, great. Well, Alex, then I would say keep it going. All the best for that. And I would say the world is waiting for your lithium.
Okay.
Because the demand is really going through the roof, right?
Very good.
Super. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it was Alex Holmes, the CEO of Plateau Energy Metals, and you heard it's 6th largest lithium resource here in the world. And by 2025, they want to be in production. $600 million capex. That's absolutely manageable. Great shareholder basis. Management 8 to 10%. That's also fantastic. And yeah, lithium is one of the things we really want to be because e-mobility is unstoppable. And so I suggest check out the company. Thanks for watching us and bye-bye from Toronto.